What if your very first love ends up becoming the deepest wound of your life? A pain so intense that it breaks you from within, yet at the same time ignites a fire that drives you to the peak of success. Today's story follows Park, a young man whose crush rejects him for one heartbreaking reason: he's poor. The story begins with a girl named Rose. On her very first day as a freshman at university, she arrives late to class. Her delay frustrates the professor, and as a result, the entire class is punished. Amidst the tension, there's one student who can't take his eyes off her. His name is Park. Throughout the lecture, his gaze remains fixed on Rose, captivated. Later that same day, fate places Park and Rose on the same bus. A wave of excitement rushes through him. Could this be the beginning of something special? But his nervousness quickly takes over. When Rose catches him staring, Park freezes in embarrassment, unable to utter a single word. His surprise only deepens when he realizes they live in the same neighborhood. Park has never seen a girl as beautiful as Rose near his home, and this only fuels his curiosity. Just as the atmosphere grows more awkward, Park's friend Harry shows up and greets him. Harry is everything Park is not: confident, outgoing, and bold. Without hesitation, he starts teasing Park. While Park is shy, innocent, and a bit awkward, Harry proudly claims that the girl standing nearby was once his first girlfriend. His playful teasing only highlights Park's naivety. Harry even advises him to work on his confidence and personal grooming. But for Park, following that advice feels nearly impossible. You see, Park's reserved nature is deeply rooted in his upbringing. His mother raised him to be cautious and responsible, constantly reminding him that a man's life holds great value and that unnecessary risks should always be avoided. Yet, despite this strong foundation, Park's beliefs begin to waver. One day, while capturing the beauty of a scenic view through his camera lens, Park accidentally snaps a stunning portrait of Rose. That unexpected moment becomes the spark that finally leads them to introduce themselves. But instead of being his true self, Park tries to maintain a mysterious persona, hoping to appear more intriguing. That illusion quickly crumbles when Rose suddenly decides to explore an abandoned house nearby. Alarmed, Park warns her that entering private property without permission is illegal. The house stands eerily silent, its stillness unsettling. Unsure of her intentions, Park fabricates a story. He tells her that a murder once took place there, hoping to scare her away. But instead of being frightened, Rose surprises him with her response. She says that if the place carries a dark past, she wants to transform it into a symbol of beauty and joy, a space filled with happy memories. The next day, their professor assigns the students a project to photograph buildings in their local neighborhood. For Park, this feels like the perfect opportunity to spend more time with Rose. Like any young guy hoping to make a good impression, he takes a shower, styles his hair, and steps out looking fresh and confident. Together, they begin exploring the area, searching for interesting architecture. Along the way, they open up about their lives. Park, who has lived in the city since childhood, admits that Seoul feels dull to him. But Rose sees it differently. She finds the city extraordinary, especially compared to her hometown on Jeju Island. After losing her mother and with her father falling ill, Rose made a firm decision to graduate as quickly as possible so she could support her family. Hearing this, Park apologizes if anything he said earlier came off as insensitive. Their bond deepens. They even begin cleaning up the abandoned house together, and Rose plants flowers to make the space feel more alive and welcoming. Amid these shared moments, Park cautiously asks if she has a boyfriend. Rose, with a sharp tone, shoots back, "Do you want to see for yourself?" Embarrassed, Park quickly apologizes and rephrases his question, asking if there's someone she likes. That's when Rose tells him about her senior, Michael, a guy every girl dreams of. He's tall, handsome, charming, brilliant, wealthy, and studying architecture. Try to lighten the mood, Park jokes that he's an engineering student too. But Rose bluntly points out that unlike Michael, Park is poor and not particularly attractive. Her honesty stings a little, but Park can't help smiling, partly amused, partly hurt. That night, Park opens up to Harry, sharing how strange and heavy life has started to feel lately. Hearing this, Harry lights up with excitement. He instantly knows his friend has fallen in love. Curious, he urges Park to tell him more about the girl he likes. Blushing, Park describes her as sweet and full of life, but admits he has no idea how to win her heart. Harry, ever the confident one, begins guiding him step by step on how to approach a girl. He reassures Park that love isn't as complicated as it seems. It just takes confidence. But since Park is slightly tipsy that night, only one piece of advice sticks in his mind: be confident. The next day, Park gathers his courage and asks Rose out at the start of summer break. With enthusiasm, he takes her for a walk along the train tracks, a quiet and scenic spot. Rose seems genuinely happy. At one point, she shares that her birthday falls on November 11th, and she wants to celebrate by treating Park to a meal. As they eat together, Park gently asks about her dreams. With bright eyes, Rose reveals that she hopes to become a successful broadcaster and one day marry a wealthy man. Her answer catches Park off guard. Still, he bravely responds that if he ever becomes a successful architect, he'll build a home just for her. Rose, touched by the gesture, sketches out her dream house right then and there. Park is overjoyed. After spending the entire day together, they decide to head home. At the bus stop, Rose unexpectedly rests her head on Park's shoulder. For a moment, he's completely lost in her presence. He's never been this close to a girl before. Slowly, her head leans in closer, and they share a kiss. It's a quiet, tender moment that leaves Park overwhelmed with joy. Later, he proudly tells Harry about the kiss, admitting it was his very first. But Harry, ever the teaser, jokingly asks if Rose's tongue was involved. Embarrassed, Park explains that the kiss happened while she was asleep. Confused, he asks whether a kiss only counts if the other person is awake, or if it involves more than just lips. Annoyed, Harry clarifies that a simple lip-to-lip kiss is more like a friendly gesture, not a real romantic kiss. As the new semester begins, Rose earns the opportunity to become the campus broadcaster. That day, Park eagerly listens to her broadcast, filled with anticipation. Later, when he approaches her to walk home together, he's stunned to find out she's already planning to leave with Michael. Determined not to let Michael steal the girl he admires, Park decides to join them. During the ride, Park struggles to hide his irritation as Rose and Michael laugh and chat effortlessly. His disappointment deepens when Michael casually asks if there's something going on between them. Rose replies that Park is her closest friend. Rose adds that she could never have romantic feelings for him. After all, if they ever dated, Park wouldn't be able to afford a lifestyle. Michael laughs and mocks Park's worn-out clothes, saying he looks like a beggar. Hurt and humiliated, Park asks to be dropped off early. Back home, Park vents his frustration at his mother, questioning why all the clothes she buys for him look so terrible. She defends herself, saying the clothes are perfectly fine. But Park, overwhelmed, storms out, shouting that she never understands him. Later, Park meets Harry and pours out his pain. He cries, believing Rose will never see him as someone worthy of love. He suspects she's already falling for Michael. Park admits he can't compete with Michael's looks or wealth. But Harry refuses to accept this defeatist mindset. He reminds Park that only the brave win the hearts of beautiful women. If Park doesn't speak his truth, he must be ready to lose her forever. Harry encourages him to wait for the season's first snowfall. He says confessing love on that day would be incredibly romantic. The next morning, Rose asks Park to help her move into a new place near campus. Her old home was too far, and though the new space is small, it feels like a fresh start. As they unpack, Rose shows Park childhood photos and shares how much she misses her home. But she admits going back isn't an option. She needs to succeed and change her family's life. Her words deeply move Park. He realizes the girl he admires isn't just beautiful. She's incredibly strong and inspiring. Before leaving, Park tells her that when the first snow falls, he wants to meet her at their special place, the abandoned house. He has something important to share. The next day, Park is absent from class. Rose tries to stay calm, hoping he's okay. Later, as she prepares to head home, Michael stops her and invites her out. She explains she can't stay long because Park has been missing all day. Michael assures her they can look for him later. Unbeknownst to her, Park has skipped class to build a miniature model of her dream house. Using her sketch, he completes it in just one day. Meanwhile, Michael takes Rose to a bar that evening. She keeps trying to call Park, but his phone battery has died. Michael, noticing her distraction, urges her to enjoy the night. Back at the Rose's apartment, Park anxiously waits for Rose. When she finally arrives, his joy turns to heartbreak. She's intoxicated, leaning heavily on Michael for support. Michael holds her tightly, nearly kissing her before guiding her inside. The door closes behind him, and only muffled sounds remain. Park stands frozen. His heart shatters. What he's just witnessed is too much to process. Overwhelmed by a storm of emotions, confusion, sorrow, and despair, he walks away. For the first time, dark thoughts cloud his mind. He wishes Rose would vanish from his life forever. As he walks home alone, he makes a vow. He will never fall in love again. Days pass, and during that time, Park completely cuts off all contact with Rose. Confused and heartbroken, she finally confronts him. She asks why he suddenly distanced himself and disappeared from her life. But Park responds with a cold, unfeeling tone. He tells her he no longer wants to see her. Her presence, her smile, even her laughter, everything about her now fills him with anger and frustration. He admits that being around her only brings him pain and sorrow. He pleads with her to live her own life, to walk her own path, and to never cross his again. In the end, he asks her to stay completely out of his life. That very day, the season's first snowfall begins. Remembering their promise, Rose goes to the abandoned house, hoping Park will show up. She waits for hours in the freezing cold, but he never comes. With a heavy heart, she finally gives up. Before leaving the place, she places an MP3 player and her favorite cassette tape on the steps, hoping Park would find them and realize she kept her promise. The story shifts, and 10 years have passed. Since their separation, Park has worked relentlessly to change his life. His mind has been consumed by the pursuit of success, not just for himself, but to improve his family's circumstances. Over time, his hard work pays off. Park becomes a wealthy architect, finally achieving the dream he once held close. But it didn't come without sacrifice. Since that day, he developed a smoking habit he could never shake. It became so ingrained that his assistant and fiancée, Julie, often scolds him for it. She warns that clients might be put off by the smell and avoid visiting their office. But Park brushes off her concerns, insisting that smoking doesn't affect his work. If clients have a problem, they're free to find another architect. Losing a few clients doesn't bother him. One day, an employee informs him that a client from Jeju Island has specifically requested Park to design her home. That client is Rose. At first, the name barely registers. So many memories have faded with time. But as it sinks in, Park remembers her as one of his old friends. When they meet, Rose wastes no time. She explains that she wants to build a house on Jeju Island and insists that Park be the one to design it. Initially, Park hesitates. He's already tied up with another major project. But his colleague offers to take over the current assignment so Park can accept Rose's request. Later, they meet at a cafe to discuss the details. During their conversation, Park tries to reconnect with their shared past and asks about her life now. Rose reveals that she's found success, not as a broadcaster like she once dreamed, but by marrying a wealthy businessman. With her husband's support, she now has the means to build the home she's always envisioned, no matter the cost. She assures Park that she'll pay whatever he charges. As the conversation unfolds, memories flood Park's mind. The pain and heartbreak he had buried for so long begin to resurface, especially now that Rose is married. Overwhelmed by emotion, Park declines the project. Disappointed, Rose expresses regret for wasting his time and walks away. But her departure stirs something within him. A quiet voice in his heart urges him to reconsider. Eventually, Rose opens up about why the house matters so much. It's her family's old home. She dreams of restoring it so that once her father recovers, he can spend his remaining years there in peace. When Park inspects the structure, he notes that it's still solid. He suggests that instead of rebuilding it from scratch, renovating it would be more meaningful. Trusting his expertise, Rose agrees, saying she's confident that whatever he envisions will be beautiful. In the end, Park shares some of his designs with her. Shortly after their second meeting, Rose finds herself swept up in memories too. She even buys an expensive tie for Park. But she soon realizes she needs to keep some distance, especially after Park introduces her to Julie. During their meeting, Julie shares that once this project is complete, she and Park plan to get married and move to the United States. Deeply in love with Park, Julie expresses her desire to ensure he never feels abandoned or rejected again, the way he once did. Once, Park bitterly mentioned that the woman who left him back then was someone he believed didn't deserve to live. Hearing this, Rose falls silent, overcome with guilt. In that moment, she realizes Julie might be talking about her. As the project begins, Rose finally gathers the courage to ask Park if the woman he once spoke about, the one who left him, was actually her. Park remains silent, avoiding the question. Even when she asks again, he doesn't respond. But as he prepares to leave, his emotions begin to overflow. He expresses his frustration, accusing Rose of only understanding happiness and failing to recognize the struggles he endured. Rose, equally emotional, argues that Park never gave her a chance to explain. After their heated exchange settles, Park apologizes to Julie for postponing his flight, citing a complication with the project. That evening, in a moment of vulnerability, Rose opens up to Park. She confesses that despite the wealth and luxurious lifestyle she once had, she was never truly happy. She admits to feeling a deep emptiness inside. Rose then reveals that she divorced her husband a year ago. She confesses that she never loved him and had married him only for financial security. With tears in her eyes, she calls herself a worthless woman, echoing the harsh words Park had once spoken in anger. Overwhelmed, she breaks down. Park gently pulls her into an embrace, whispering for her to stay calm. He assures her that he'll remain by her side until the project is complete. One night, a call comes from a hospital. Rose's father's condition has worsened. She rushes to be with him, promising that their home is being rebuilt. She assures him that once he recovers, the house will look even more beautiful than before. The next morning, Rose returns to the renovation site. During a short break, she invites Park to visit her village. With a playful smile, she teases him, asking if he remembers the significance of the day. Park smiles back, guessing correctly. It's November 11th, her birthday. As a gesture of gratitude, Rose promises to treat him to a special meal to celebrate. While they talk, Rose asks if it's possible to adjust the house design to include a piano. Given the current stage of construction, it's a difficult request, but she insists it's for her father. She explains how much he loved hearing her play. Then, with a heavy heart, she reveals a painful truth. Her father doesn't have much time left. All she wants is to create one last precious memory for him. Her request, however, meets strong resistance from Julie. She argues that redesigning the space would take too long and reminds Park of their upcoming wedding next month. But Park stands firm. He promises the delay will be minimal and refuses his assistant's offer to take over. He insists on completing the project with his own hands. Eventually, the house is finished, earlier than expected. Rose moves in and expresses heartfelt gratitude for Park's dedication. She's amazed at how beautiful and spacious the home turned out, far beyond her expectations. She's certain her father will be overjoyed when he returns. But just as Park prepares to say goodbye, he finds something unexpected: the miniature model house he had built for Rose years ago. The sight brings back a flood of memories he had tried to bury. He lashes out, releasing years of suppressed anger. Rose defends herself, explaining she kept the model because it meant so much to her. She admits her past mistakes, but insists there's more Park needs to understand. She opens up about what really happened with Michael. She tells him how Michael tried to take advantage of her, how she fought back, and even slapped him. In that moment, she had desperately hoped Park would come and protect her. But instead, she was met with his cold goodbye. Rose confesses that ever since that day, She tried to hate him, but no matter how hard she tried, her love for him never faded. She reveals that Park was, and still is, her first love. Park is left speechless. Everything he believed about their past shatters. Despite the unresolved emotions between them, they decide to part ways and move forward with their lives. Park returns to his fiancée, while Rose focuses on caring for her father. Later, when her father accidentally sees a photo of Park on her phone, Rose's emotions surface. When he asks who the man is, she simply replies, "Just a friend." Meanwhile, though Park is physically with Julie, his thoughts and heart remain with Rose, his first and greatest love. Struggling with his inner turmoil, Park visits his mother and asks her to come with him to America. But she gently refuses. She gives him some money and explains her deep connection to their home. It's where she lived her entire life, from her wedding day to hearing her child's first cry. She wants to spend her final days in the place where all her cherished memories were made. Wearing the same clothes Park once discarded, she speaks with quiet wisdom. She tells him that God always knows what's best for his creation. Sometimes, happiness is a hidden lesson, and at other times, pain transforms into unexpected joy. She blesses Park's upcoming marriage and assures him that no matter how far he goes, she'll always be waiting for him to return home. Time passes. Park marries Julie, and the couple moves to America to begin a new chapter. Meanwhile, Rose settles into her renovated home with her father and starts teaching piano lessons. One day, a package arrives for Rose. Inside, she finds an old audio player and her favorite cassette tape. Along with it is a letter from Park. In it, he thanks her for the memories they once shared, their laughter, their smiles, and the love they both felt for the first time in their lives. He apologizes for not showing up that night when she needed him most. He apologizes for letting his pride overshadow his love. And finally, he apologizes for never being able to express his feelings the way he should have. He ends the letter by acknowledging the choices they made and encourages them both to move forward in the lives they've chosen. And that was a story of a love that endured time, pain, and silence. If this journey touched your heart even a little, consider supporting this channel. Your likes, comments, and subscriptions help us bring more cinematic storytelling to life, crafted with emotion, depth, and care. If you believe in stories that speak to the soul, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. Let's keep sharing moments that matter. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep the echoes of stories alive.